going on now is talking about this boxing. I put on there exactly what they had on the news media. It was got beef, box it out. So he's going to kind of just talk about some of the things that we can do. We've heard a lot of good, bad, not so good. But I think, having someone here as an expert that can talk about it, how boxing can be an influential thing in our community and helping with our youth and helping with, squashing the beef and everything else. I just think it's so much more than just that actual sport. So we're going to talk about that. Please make sure you share it. Please make sure that you interact with us. You can also call in. Everything is going to be on the screen or on the Radio on Fire page. Phone number to call us if you do have questions is 404-436-1277. Thank you, Mr. Umar. Thank you so much for being here. You are our special guest. Yes. And he was supposed to have been here a long time ago.
I wasn't that special guest.
No. So I just saw him over the weekend. I was like, you want to come in, give me something in June. So here you are right on the spot. I want to thank you for having me call you and then, just taking that call and coming in.
I'm always ready.
Yes, I know you are. So I do want to introduce you, though, a formal introduction. So if anyone does not know, Umar Youth Boxing Program is located in Baltimore, Maryland. It is a nonprofit organization. It was founded by Marvin W. McDowell Jr., a Boxing Hall of Fame inductee, who as a former young fighter had a vision of himself using boxing as a method for changing street smart youths and adolescents living in crime-infested neighborhoods into responsible citizens who enjoyed a sense of pride of themselves. Gosh, that's exactly what we're talking about here. I'm sorry. So Mr. McDowell's goal is to use boxing as a magnet to entice these young people off the corners into the more positive atmosphere of a gymnasium setting and teach them that the discipline inherent in boxing is applicable in every phase of life. So again, that was just a powerful statement, and I actually just got it. But that is the reason that we're here. We want to talk about how we can use the boxing in the crime-infested neighborhoods and bring some positive light. So thank you.
Well, I started this in 1996, but see, I'm a product of the urban area, and I got caught early as far as not being able to get into all that foolishness. Like I was a knucklehead on the street, and me and my buddies, we was going past this recreation center, and they had boxing in it. So, I was a pretty tough street fighter. So my buddies dared me to challenge the guy that was in there. So I have heart, so I went in there and I challenged him. And I did pretty good with him, with my regular skills. So I kept coming back. The next thing I know, I took his place. And that was in 1972.
Oh.
And I've been involved in boxing since 1972.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and like it worked for me because, I was an amateur boxing champion. I won the Golden Gloves. Back during that time, it was called the AAU and the South Atlantic Association, the regional champ. Went to the nationals. I had a chance to travel all over the country, through boxing. I was going places where you would only go to if you were in the armed service. Especially when I got older, when I turned professional. I've been to London, I've been to Paris, I've been to Ireland, Puerto Rico, Colombia,
And that's actually good.
Yeah, that is. Especially a young male from an urban community that don't even get to step out of Baltimore.
I'm saying, if I would go to those places, I would have to go in the service, But this was on my time. I'll be gone like a week or 2 weeks. Everything is taken care of, So I sort of like enjoyed myself. So I wanted to do the things, for these kids that I experienced, and it really changed life. It changed my life, And everything is not Baltimore. And I had a chance to see that everything was in Baltimore. You
know? So last week we kind of talked about, well, maybe 2 weeks, but I always kind of just talk about how changing your environment, you know, stepping out the box, doing something different. So I'm definitely not against, you know, utilizing that whole boxing entity to help out, but also in the same token, I think that because you not only did the boxing, like you just said, you traveled, you learned other things, and that it makes a big difference.
Up your horizon.
You know, see, once you take your mind off the actual physical aspect of boxing and all the different components, the life-changing components that's involved with structure, camaraderie, respect, you know, the discipline. You know, if you carry those same characteristics in life, you know, you got an outstanding person. You know, and boxing can do that for you. First of all, one-on-one. You know, and it takes a strong person to have the nerve to even get in the ring. You know, here you facing somebody across from you
that you
don't know nothing about. You don't know nothing about you. Right, and you got to inflict your will on,
and then
you know,
the potential of losing,
right?
So in front of everyone, so
you know, it takes nerve to do that, you know, and if they carry those same characteristics in life, I'm saying, look how successful a person would be, you know.
Now I have a question because I'm trying to find the question, but I can sum it up. So if we already have crime-infested city, they already pick up the guns quick, you know. Let's say that the two get in the ring and then one, you know, he loses and he comes back. He's angry, you know. He lost in front of everybody.
Well, see,
what are we going to do there?
Right? But he's angry enough to try to get better and do better the next time.
Okay, so you're confident that he would do that and not try to retaliate?
Because...
But I'm saying if you try to retaliate, this guy can already whip you up.
You know? I'm talking about picking up the guns because that's what they're doing. Nobody's fighting.
You know, like the boxing family is a different family. You know what I'm saying? We go against each other. We rough and tough, right? But hey, you got me this time, man.
But and then pride is involved. And men and pride, like
you know, like and then too, you know, we become very close to these kids. You know, and he respect me. You know, so he don't want to act crazy in front of me. I said, man, what's wrong with you? You know, like this stuff happens.
Right.
I said, now you know what you did wrong.
Right.
So we got to get in the gym and we got to work on it again. So you'll have a remedy to beat this guy. You know.
So mentorship as well as
I'm saying it just has so many different components involved in it. But if you have never done it or never experienced it, you can think all kind of crazy stuff. You know, first thing they say, I don't want to get my head all beat up and be punch drunk and stuff like that, right? But who said that you would be in it that long for anything like that to happen? You know?
Now something you said in the beginning, you said that you know, you kind of was caught early.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a big difference if someone can actually catch your, you know, your youth or your ones that are having issues. If you catch them early.
But I'm saying I caught myself because I knew where I was heading. You know, I had a conscience, and see, you know, boxing gives you a conscience, right? Because the good and bad and right and wrong, you know, and it works on your listening skills, you know, it works on your concentration, you know, and you have to pay attention, because if you don't pay attention, you're going to lose. Nobody will lose. And then too, it teaches you to follow rules and regulations, right? All right, now, here's a scenario. You know, you have two guys get ready to compete against each other. I'm saying they big as I don't know what, right? Both of them want to inflict their will on each other, right? But you got this one man who is the referee, right? At any moment, he can step in and say, stop, right? And just like that, you'll stop. And then you have to wait for this man to tell you, okay, continue. So like I'm saying, if you follow those same characteristics in life, you know, there's rules and regulations, things that you can and can't do, type of person that you would be, you know? And it's all mental. It's all mental, you know?
Now, one had asked a question about, so how do we hold parents accountable? Will they be a part of this whole entire process, or are they a part of your process?
Well, some of them are, but sometimes it's good to just let the parents drop the kids off and go on about their business. Because, some of them, say the kid is kind of soft.
And from my experience, when parents get involved, it becomes too messy.
Yeah, and then they want to tell you how to operate your situation that you've been doing for years. So I like to have the parents involved. All right, we're going to do a fundraiser or something like that. Or you want to cookies or something, or donate some stuff. Yeah, come on with us. Yeah. But as far as anything else, drop them off and go on about your business. Okay. We got them. They safe with us.
So do you have summer camps as well?
Well, that's what the funding has to do with. Like I used to have summer camps whereas though they would come in from 9 to 4, and then we pick up the regular time from 4 to 8 or 9, and they be gone all day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we've been kind of like short on funding for that, So I guess if Jack Young came up with the idea, then maybe there's some money that he can pass out to help us keep doing what we're doing.
So speaking of Jack Young, so what did you think about his whole statement?
If you didn't understand it, see, I understood what he was talking about, so it didn't bother me.
And I did too when I saw it.
Yeah, because I'm saying this whole city is at their wits' end what to do with these kids.
Exactly.
So he might have said out of frustration, but me being in what I'm into, I understood what he was talking about.
And I did too, because like when I was growing up, that's what we resorted to, like our fists, not guns or knives or anything like that. Like we fought it out in the streets. Yeah, but
there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. These kids grow up in this emotional environment. They don't really, some of them don't have their father in their life.
Exactly.
The uncles ain't stepping up, so they watching their mother interact, and they watch her interact in the emotional situation, and it makes them very reactionary. So they get out there and they don't know how to really control their emotions. Somebody step on their shoe or somebody bump into them, they ready to go crazy.
And just holding in anger, period.
Yeah. And so whereas though a man would say, hey, look, shorty, if you be doing this crazy stuff, man, I ain't gonna be doing it. I'm gonna knock you out.
Right.
So they ain't no consequences behind their behavior. And it's like they just gone wild.
And they don't have anybody mirroring good behavior, so they mirror.
Right. It's like they out raising themselves.
Exactly.
The parents are not really involved, and and sometimes it comes from kids having kids. Yes. And I'm not going to do my kids like my mother did me or my father did me.
I'm going to be their friend.
And you create morons and monsters.
Exactly.
So a lot of this come from the drugs. A lot of these kids have them drugs in their system. The nerves and I'm saying it's just a lot that's going on.
It's a lot of
it's layers. Like we were just talking about that peeling that onion. The more you keep peeling, the more it's going to hurt you.
And see, the mental health issues have never been so much like they are now. Yeah. But that's because those chemicals from the parents, doing the drugs and everything, is in their system.
I do believe that.
And not only just being in that system, because I've met some great parents. I would say great mothers that's working 2 and 3 jobs, and there's nothing, going on. However, there still have to be a way. They're not there. The environment. That's what I said. The environment. Yeah. So that person has to go to school. I mean, just look at some of these classrooms sometimes. Just the environment, your peer pressure. You want to be cool, or you want to
fit in.
You want to fit in.
Right, but see too is that these kids go to bed mad and they wake up mad.
Exactly.
So, like I've been trying to get into the school system. And
what's going on?
What's going on? We need to sit there and figure out how we can get.
Well, here's the thing, right? What I've been doing, I've been meeting with Mr. Shaw, and he's in charge of the re-engagement for Baltimore City Schools.
Okay.
And we've been having our meetings and everything. And I think September, we're going to start a boxercise program.
I think that's
no contact, right? Because these kids wake up with all this negative energy in the morning, in the hours between 9 and 11. We're going to work with them, shake off all that negative energy, and they'll be cool for the rest of the day. You know, and if they want to follow up in the boxing gyms or programs in their area where they live, they can do that. But
so explain that program. How would it look?
All right, when the kid, now first of all, is a way to get the kids to come to school because you're doing something that they like.
They like it,
right? And we'll put it in through the health and awareness, you know, for the kids, right? All right, when they come in, right, we'll exercise them. You know, they'll jump rope. They'll learn the basics of boxing, the proper way to punch. We'll have heavy bags and speed bags and stuff for them to punch on. And, you know, they'll have to learn to listen, follow instructions, you know, and that situation will really help them through anything that they want to do in life, you know, because the structure, you know, the listening, the following directions, you know, it works. It works.
So what school are you targeting? Like elementary, middle, high school?
Well, right now, I'm dealing with the alternative schools.
Okay.
Right? And once we let them see what we're doing and how it's working, any school in the system that want it, I wouldn't mind doing it. You know, and then two, because there's no contact, they'll be learning them skills. So eventually, we'll have one centralized school where we can have the competition. And each district will have a team, right? And we'll have some kind of high school championship, you know, Baltimore City High School Boxing Championship, or something like that, right? You know,
well, I would love to see, you know, Mayor Jack Young work, you know, y'all work together and doing that because it's something that you kind of already have in place.
Right.
And
I'm saying, why try to reinvent the wheel? The wheel's already rolling. You know, just get on board, you know, and we can make this thing happen.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm like I was reading some of the comments the other day. Oh my gosh. And I sat there and was just like, he's not saying that they don't need jobs and they don't need mental health service and they don't need, like some people can
but see,
everything we need all of that and things that they like. And
here's the thing, right? I'm a resource. See?
Yeah.
And when we go to our call to action meetings and everything, we have everything there. So if you come just like on Wednesdays, right? We give away free vegetable and fruit. So if somebody hungry
at your own center,
at my center,
what time?
Every Wednesday at 12 until it's gone.
Oh wow!
Right, 1,500 pounds of fresh vegetable and fruit. We give them the bags and everything.
So how long y'all been doing that?
I've been doing that for a year.
Oh okay.
And I'm glad I met Dominic Nell of City Weeds.
Yes.
He does the food rescue, and he's the one that's doing it. You know, and you know every Wednesday he come with the vegetable and fruit, put tables out there, provide the bags, and I'm saying take as much as you want. We won't throw nothing away, you know, and we won't take nothing back. And that's for the community. We've been doing it for a whole year. And I'm saying we got a pretty nice crowd, and it works. And then, you know, for some of the adults and young people, we have a free yoga class. You know, every Sunday, starting now from 10:30 to 11:30, the Yoga Diva, Miss Michelle Stafford.
Oh yeah. We were talking on Saturday.
Very good. You know, and I'm saying we've been doing that.
Yeah, she was like, I got to come on the show. It's like, okay.
We've been doing that for a year. She's very good at what she do.
Okay.
You know.
Listen, free yoga.
Yes, you can't beat that.
Listen, he's trying to get into school, so advocate, help out. You know, if you can email, call, let them know this is something that they could do.
It would really work because this makes sense the kids that I have in my program goes to these Baltimore City schools.
Have you seen like a lot of success stories
Of course.
throughout the years?
They graduate.
Oh, so they graduate from
They
the
graduate.
program.
No.
you
Oh,
said-
in high school.
While they in school, right? See, I have a no hooks before books, right?
Okay.
The kids just from 6 to 13 is mandatory for them to be in my educational component.
Okay, so,
So
how
when they
is football
come,
do?
right? So
you-
when they come to my gym, right, they bring their books.
Okay.
Right. I got a classroom, computers, 2 certified Baltimore City school teachers that work with them in math, reading, and writing.
I like
When they
that.
first come, before they meet me, they meet the teacher. They get an assessment in math, reading, and writing to see where they actually need help. And then when they come every day, they bring their books, they do their homework. Anything that they need, we have the assistant for them.
So
I just brought on 2 reading specialists that's sponsored by AARP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have 2 reading specialists to help them read. And that's the problem that a lot of the kids have,
Yeah,
reading and math.
definitely.
And I
And
have
isn't,
a
and
guy
isn't that
that,
sad though? That's another story
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the educational.
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm saying we have about an 85% graduation rate. Since I started doing this, the kids, they go to the next grade, they get good progress reports, and they finish high school.
I like that.
And I got a bunch of them that's in college, and my nephew was an example of it. He's going for his master's right now,
I
you know.
that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Look
So
at that.
I'm saying the program worked. All these kids have to do is be around people that can give them a chance and learn how to give themselves
And
a
like you
chance.
said,
Exactly.
you are a resource. So you're not saying this is the answer. There's
No, it's
not.
not the
It's
answer.
nothing going to be the particular answer. But we all need to be doing something, and you're
That's
a part
right.
of that. So you're that
Right.
resource.
Right.
And there are many of our youth and young people that love boxing. So
Right.
why not?
Yeah.
Why not
Right.
give them what they want instead of
Right.
us acting like we know the answer?
And this is free, right?
Well, it's a little registration
Okay.
fee, but it's so little, it's like nothing.
Ain't like football,
it's like free.
because football registration
I'm
fee
saying
is like
a one-
$125.
A one-time look, a one-time fee for the whole year, $50.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, for the year.
And the tutoring, if they don't want to box, the tutoring is free. They can come in
Oh, so they
for
can
the
come
tutoring.
in.
You know, they can, if they just
So
want
what's
to
the
be in the
hours
tutoring,
for the tutoring?
it's 2 hours,
Okay.
4 to 6.
So once they do
46.
that, then they can.
Yeah,
Go
then
and
you
do
go to
the
the box.
boxing program.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like you got to earn to be in the program.
Okay.
You know?
So you know how football, like in high school, football required them to keep a 2.0 grade point average.
Yeah,
So,
well, we want them to be in school.
okay, so that's
You know,
that's it.
we
stay.
help them to get where they at
Okay.
if they need help.
Okay.
You know, but one of our things is, you got to be in school to be in our program.
Okay.
You know.
And that's what keep. I notice a lot of males in school when they have like a
Yeah,
sport
you,
or something.
you need a draw.
Yeah.
Even though education is good for them, but they need a trade-off.
Yeah,
Just
they
like
do.
the inner city kids that come to my program. Yeah, we'll go to after school program, but what we gonna get after that? They get the boxing.
Yeah.
You know,
I
all
think-
this stuff is psychological.
I was gonna say it.
It
I
is,
was actually
definitely.
gonna get to that part. I was
Yeah.
gonna say that it's the same as if someone says, you know, the gun. It's not so much the gun being that, you know, it's
Yeah.
the actual person behind it or their intentions behind
The
it.
mentality.
And the fact that when we hear about boxing, they think of you're getting people to fight and we can actually get them to talk. But sometimes that's not hitting everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know it. I mean, my father was such a hothead. And I'm not saying he would be in that ring, but to get him to talk. And you're not saying just go in there. Well, I don't know how, you know, Mayor Jack Young and your perspective, but I wouldn't think that you were saying just go in there, you just fight, and that's going to be
No,
it. You're
no,
saying
no,
how
no.
you're trying to build that relationship, how you're
Right.
trying to show structure and discipline in ways that you probably don't have to
Right.
fight.
Exactly.
Right. And that's what he was basically talking
Yeah.
about.
I mean, that's
you
what
know?
I'm getting out of it.
I mean, that's what I got out of it.
Because he have association with a boxing gym over the east side. You know, he east side guy. So
Oh, so there's one over east?
the
I gotta
way
get 'em all to listen.
the Mac Lewis Foundation, that was one of the top
yeah,
boxing
yes. I've heard
gyms,
it, but I don't know
you know,
where.
in the city. And he was my mentor. So I have great respect, you know, for Mr. Mac Lewis. And you know, they matter of fact, they having some competition in July, you know, and you know, the kids have a chance to meet other kids that's doing what they're doing, You know, they get they fight in tournaments and they travel. You know,
I think
I'm
it's a
saying
great thing.
it's a wholesome situation.
It's so much on there. Now I'm gonna try to read some because I actually shared this in so many groups. And I'm trying to read some of the groups, but one of them is kind of going back to what we were saying. But one just said that it will never stop the beef, just prolong the murder. And then the second person says the loser will be humiliated in front of many and retaliate in the streets. I think we kind of covered that. He's saying trying to grab them early, for one. The two is maybe you will get them in a ring if that's what Mayor Jack Young is saying. Yeah. We don't know exactly what is going to happen, but I think giving any and everything a try.
Yeah, but I'm saying, whoever have all this negative stuff to say, what are you doing?
Exactly. That's the
I'm just reading.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
So, you know, like
I think just having a variety of resources. Maybe some they're not boxing. Maybe they want to. I don't know. You know, whatever they're doing. Whatever.
But what I'm saying,
but,
but they need to do. But they need
guns,
to meet.
though.
Yes.
the boxing is the draw, right? And we have our older guys that come in there, right? All these guys don't want to be out in the street. Yeah. All these guys don't want to sell drugs. They don't want to do that. Yeah. But if they know that there's a different resource, you know,
a different outlet,
right?
Yeah.
You know, they frustrated too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's mainly what it is. You're frustrated and you don't know how to even bring that all out.
Boxing is one of them ways that you can let out up that frustration and that built up like anger and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
I'm not gonna tell you what I like to do, but some things are very therapeutic.
Right.
And it can go from running around the lake. I mean, that's a little less than what I'm trying to say, but you just never know
you need
what
something.
you need something.
But
and
see,
that's
boxing is the most humbling sport out there. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, you can sort of get intimidated when you come to the gym. You know, and you ready to join up. And you watching these guys move around, and they got the technique down pat, and they hitting on the heavy bags and, you know, the speed bags and stuff. And
I think you hit it when you said about ego, because they might want to. They look at that and they gonna be like, "I want to do that. I could do it better."
Right. Like let me get in there.
Is that we're mentoring them too? You know, look, things that you can't do because you representing us. Right. You have to change.
Right.
And a lot of them do. What I'm saying, over the 23 years that I've been doing this, I didn't see this change. Kids come to me all the time. Coach Marvin, if it wasn't for me coming to Umar, man, you know, I just bought a house, or, you know, I got married. You know, they talk about the success that they had from that beginning, you know, and you know.
And I personally know a lot of guys that I grew up with that frequent Umar a lot, and they're very successful now. They own businesses, they businessmen, they went to college, they got degrees, so I saw how they had changed.
Because they had a chance. They gave themselves a chance.
Right.
And it was with people that will help them give themselves a chance.
Right.
And that goes back to that whole community. That goes back to that restoring the village. Us being a community. Us, you know, whatever that you can help with. I mean, me, I like connected people, and you like working with women, or maybe more. But you like boxing. You know, DJ John McKay, he does great with media. I mean, everybody can do any
everybody
and everything.
has something to offer.
Yes, but it's like
and
you can't be so negative.
Yes.
You're connecting and you're making that connection there. But we can't just be negative and say this is not it. There's so many mentoring programs. Mentoring programs and you know, therapeutics program. We could do all of that, but that's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah, and it has to be okay. Like, people can't just be negative. That is not.
You
for
gotta
you,
get in
you
where
don't
you
feel
fit
it.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I wish you would have had one of your young scholars here, but I would love to know, you know, the feedback from the youth. Are they?
I'm telling you, they love it. They love it. You know, and there's one guy that haven't been with me too long. He was having kids. They were, you know, they were like in a cage, and they coming out of high school, and they used to meet up, and all of them boxing, right? So I ran into him because he was using gloves up, guns down, something like that. But that's my motto. put the guns down, put the gloves up.
Yeah.
So I say, hey, man, you know, you can't use that, man. You know, that belongs to me. Right? So I said, I tell you what, man, come to my gym, and I can show you the right way. And he's there every day.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm working with him and you know, enhancing his skills and everything. And he happy as I don't know what. You know, I'm saying he's in there every day.
Because he probably was admiring you from the
Well,
beginning
he
of what
had
you...
some experience. He was at other gyms, right?
So
But he
has
was
it.
like training himself. How you gonna train yourself?
Yeah.
You know, he, I guess, was watching somebody and you know, just doing his own thing. But from my experiences in it, you know, I can teach. You know, and you know, he just get amazed. You know, I get in there and I'm showing him all different things, and
Yeah.
you know, boxing is a sport. You know, you have to learn. You don't learn, you know. Or if you can't be taught, if you don't have a good teacher,
Yeah.
what's the use of being there?
Yeah.
You
I
know,
totally agree.
and learning about trial and error is very discouraging.
It is, because how do you know when it's trial and error?
Right. Yeah.
I always want, and I would say anyone, I would say naysayers, I would say anyone that has a say in it. Are we really sitting here and asking the youth what they want?
Right.
Because
Right.
that could be something they really want. They want these rec centers that's not just open with no resources, but
Right.
open, filled with resources of boxing and anything else that they enjoy doing.
Yes.
But have them
Yeah.
at the table and ask them. And I'm sure from your center and from Corner Team, the feedback that I see is that they like this. You know,
Yeah.
this is something that they
See,
enjoy.
every kid loves structure, even though they don't realize that
No, that's true.
that is going on, you know, and that
consistency.
repetitive, until it become a habit, you know, and it's like they can't live without it.
Yeah, because I had 4 boys, so I always kept them in sports since I could put them in sports. And I do notice that was something that I could use to get them to go to school and get them to do what they need to do. Because if they ain't had that part of of that in their life, they like felt like they just the world just in for them.
Or you know, like you can you ain't gonna you punish them. You ain't going this.
Yeah, I can
No,
punish them all day long.
I'm working on
Yes,
this. You
right.
I'm getting ready for a fight. You talking about I can't go?
And I got a tournament coming up. What you mean? So definitely,
So-
they look forward to that.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is mental.
It
you know,
is.
I'm saying, and if a kid feel good about themselves, right, you can get them to do anything you need to do. You know, and that's what we try to do. We just try to be there. You know, I'm a father to all of them. You know, I have 5 sons myself.
Okay.
You know, so I can deal with the boys. You know, and I do have girls. I had a girl that I trained. She was a multiple national champ, multiple international champ. Right now, you know, she's not with me anymore, but she's the WBC super middleweight world champ.
I was going to say, I wonder if I've
Yeah,
heard.
Yep,
Okay,
and,
because they just said someone was here.
yeah, yeah.
I
She started with
remember my daughter
Umar.
went in the box. I couldn't find no boxing programs for her.
Yeah.
Come on, say I'm a
Yeah.
look.
I've been doing this a whole long time. I had her since she was like 15 years old.
Oh, really?
And
Jackie.
she's 30 now.
Oh,
What'd you say the last name was?
Franchon Cruz.
Oh, no. Because I was about to say Jackie Ballard, author. She says
Oh,
hello.
Jackie
Mom.
Bella. Yeah. Oh, that's so close.
Okay, she said
Okay.
she said hello.
Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to get better in answering when people say things.
Yeah.
But there was one that Ricky Hartz, he said that if we can get kids to think like we did, the mindset that killing makes you a man or makes you hard has to be changed. We grew up wrestling and fighting, using our hands and true strength as signs of manhood.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm saying all the bad guys I know is doing something good.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough being a good guy.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, Tusi Love, she actually has a lot on here, but she said, how do we hold, entertainment industry is accountable and so forth, especially hip hop. But in all of that, she says that we must get to the root of the problem. And again, I think, if I'm understanding, is that we're not saying that we're not going to try to get to the root of it. I think once you get them in your space and you do certain things, maybe you'll know that they don't live at their mother's home, or
everything happens,
or they're hungry.
They'll confide in you.
They'll confide
You'll
in
know
you.
everything, and then too is that I have other resources.
Yes.
All I got to do is get them, and I can make it happen.
Exactly.
See, that's the thing. It's not just boxing.
Yes.
And that's what people gotta realize too,
Yeah,
because they just looking at the small
We are
pressure of it.
We are a program.
Right.
And see, when you say program, that means there's other aspects going on in it.
But
It's
I
just-
like that, like you said, just being that resource. Once you get them in that space, you'll know if they need other things, and you can link them up. And so that's always I think it's always a good thing, because if they don't get to you, they may not have ever had that help.
Just like I partnered with the Office of the Public Defender, right? Any of these kids in the program or in the neighborhood, if they have any problems with the law, we give them free representation.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's another.
I also partnered with the World Trade Center Institute. In those southern countries, they have the same problems we have here. Kids out of school, kids selling drugs, kids doing crime. So I done had delegations from El Salvador, Central America, all of South America, and Mexico to visit my program. They come to most of the grassroots programs, to kind of pick up some of the same techniques and take it back to their country. So there's a lot of foreigners with Umar boxing hats and shirts on. Yeah.
So I am rocking my Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office.
And I'm not rocking that.
I'm trying to make sure I do that sometimes.
I did bring some Umar boxing
I can't
shirts.
fit not one of them.
Oh, I have to get
That's
one.
right there.
I have to get one before you leave. But I wanted to say I have the State's Attorney's Office shirt on.
Well, let them see it. Umar boxing for life. And see on the back of it, put the guns down, put the gloves up.
Mine might be a little tight, but wait a minute, I like this one though.
This is an extra large.
Oh, see.
One is a medium. This is a
Well, I
large.
should do the medium.
I think that's the medium.
I need a dark one. I can't do
Yeah,
the.
this is a large.
I don't want to do the light one. I like dark colors.
Well, this is a medium. I
don't know. Maybe I could do that. Okay,
And
sorry.
turn around, let them see the back
Okay,
of
so
it.
look, here's the front of.
Umar boxing for life. And Umar is an Arabic word that means life and lifetime.
Okay. Well, look, we learned a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Put the
sorry.
guns down, put the gloves up, Baltimore, Maryland.
All right. Okay. So now I gotta rock this one next week.
Yeah.
So look, I was saying that I have the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office shirt on today because we went to a great, Stop the Violence rally this past Sunday. That she hosted. Well, that the department hosted, as well as the mayor's office and city, state officials. Shout out to Walk by Faith Ministry. I got my shirt to that, so that's gonna be one.
All these shirts.
I know everybody's giving me one. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start wearing them. But so we went there, and it was nice. For me, I think it was really a good thing to wore orange. Gotta make sure I tell you.
Orange.
It was for the awareness to stop the violence awareness. But these are some of the things that they're still doing. They're still having it. It was various vendors and resources there. We can't say that these things are not there. It is. And I made sure I took plenty of pictures. If anybody needed help with anything.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you don't come,
you don't know.
you can't nothing happen with you.
That's why you'll kind of see me being like, at least try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah.
There was one other thing. I was trying. So you got a couple people. I ain't gonna read this whole thing either. But Irene Williams said, "Hello, Marvin." Okay, hello. she says, "I know that the program concept for Umar works, and that is an outstanding program. However, what the mayor said was not a wise thing to say. What this city needs is jobs, safe environments, recreational outlets like Umar, mentoring programs, internships, healthy food, drug and mental health access on demand. When children are introduced to people like Marvin and his program early, they can prevent a lot of this street violence. So she is agreeing with both and saying that we do need that more.
But see, the thing of it is, too, is that I do have access to other resources that can help. That's the thing. You know, it's not just
you
boxing.
did name a lot of resources that I wasn't aware of. Yeah. So.
Now, let's just kind of twist it a little bit. So now we know that the reason they want to have that boxing concept is because we have a lot of violence in our city. What do you think are some of the root or causes to the violence? And what do you think is needed, set aside the boxing, but what else do you think is really needed?
Well, I think there's a lot of mental health issues going on, and frustration from physical, mental abuse. It's a mixture of a lot of stuff that's going on. Right. And they don't know what to do about it. That's why they acting out. That's why they do what they do.
Well, they probably don't even know about the mental health issues. Because
that was taboo in the black community.
It still is kind of, sort of. Some families don't even believe that you
should go. They think you're crazy if you go to it. It's a whole.
You'll look at him like there's something wrong with him, but he always acts like that.
Exactly.
Instead of trying.
We've had where I don't even know if they've gotten away from that, but when they're younger, boys don't cry. You already showing them not to show their emotions, so they're holding this all in. Yeah. But let's say they grew up that way, and let's say now little Day is now Big Davon, and he's learned that whole concept of boys don't cry or just showing your emotion. And now Big Davon has lost his father. He's seen his homeboys shot and killed. He's angry, and he still has that mentality that I can't. But he wants that retaliation, and I don't know. For me, I think a lot of it's some retaliation as well. But definitely mental health is a key to that. Now, do you think music is a cause of any of this? Like
it could be, because you have some people
or videos and all that.
Yeah, you have simple people.
This means we have a good show again, because he's getting ready to chime in.
God.
I mean, my thing about that is I hear people say, music or this or that. It could be food. It could be anything. I think that saying music is just a scapegoat. You know what I mean? Because if they have a lot of sugar, that could, So it's just like, I think that different things are different triggers for different people. And so you can't really zoom in on one particular thing and say, because that same thing music could be a trigger for somebody. For me, music was something that kept me out of the streets.
Exactly.
It wasn't a trigger for me, even though I listened to...
music changed too.
You know what I'm saying? I listen to NWA or I listen to street music, but it didn't make me want to go and do street things. It made me want to make music. Yeah. So it affects people differently. You know what I mean? Just but I really wanted to jump back to something that you said, and I think this comes from women saying that you tell a boy that he's not supposed to cry. We say that, but it's not. I think women take it literally. And I think that's why we have the opposite end, where boys are now too sensitive. Yeah. When we say a man's not supposed to cry or boy not supposed to cry, stop being, don't be a girl. That doesn't mean everything that ever happens in your life, don't cry. It means don't cry over these little things. Yeah. That's really what we mean. We're not saying don't show no emotion. People take everything too literal. Your father dies, yes, that's something to cry for.
But saying that to a young child, they don't conceptualize
But it's a training. It's just like they do with Umar at the gym. Like they have building blocks, and so he's not going to have a heavyweight champion on day one. Each day he's training them.
Just
and training.
Like
it's building blocks.
Some of the kids when they do that when they first sparring, right? And some of them, they get frustrated because they can't really perform the way they start crying and stuff. And they say, "Hey man, it's all right. It's all right. Go ahead and cry, but you ain't gotta keep doing that."
Right.
He says it's all right, but it's all right, man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you know, having my father raise me, I think I am on that side of not showing my emotions.
And
not,
I am too, because my dad raised me too.
Because, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
One, I didn't see him show his. Two,
Right.
it was more like he didn't know how to interact if I did. So it was more like, go ahead, you're going to be fine. Go ahead over there.
And my dad didn't show me any emotions.
Well,
like, I didn't
so
get the hugs.
See,
I didn't
with
get
me,
the I love yous or anything like that
when
from
I was
him.
growing up, and me being in boxing, right, you cannot show no emotions.
Yeah.
Right? So, I still carry this situation in life, right? Don't really much bother me, and I'm kind of not sensitive, to a lot.
I mean, they say not sensitive.
Yeah, it ain't like I'm trying to be hard, right? But, here I'm facing somebody that's trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't care about how they feel.
And you can't show it
Right.
either.
So like I say, I got to inflict my will on him, and I can't care how he feel, how I'm doing to him, because he's trying to do the same thing back to me.
Right.
Right?
And then you're going to find your weakness. Your
Right,
weak point.
right.
Yeah.
So, you
It's so
sometimes
much.
you got to put a shield up,
Yeah. My shield down.
My shield's still up.
My shield is up and I can't get it down.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. All right. So yeah, I love, like I said, I love the concept of it. It may not be for everyone, but at least you're touching someone, and that's a good thing. And
like I say, if you don't like it, right?
Don't comment about it.
find
Yeah,
another.
find another
something else,
solution. Yeah.
And I'm saying too is that, what are you doing?
Right.
See, the thing of it is, right, you can talk about all this and that, right? But if you ain't doing nothing about it, you're part of the problem.
Exactly.
I tell people all the time, are you the solution or the problem? Because let's say he didn't even say anything. It would be, well, why isn't he trying to give something for the youth?
Right.
And then it's like, when you do this, why is he doing it that way?
Yeah.
At least listen to what his entire plan, because that was at the event, so they may have just caught him and he just said one
But
thing.
I'm glad he throwed it out, because that's what I'm into, right?
No, that's why he was like, these
It's
little
bringing
interviews.
attention to what I've been trying to do for a long time.
All right, well, you got it now.
Hey. So, Mayor Young, we can get together and, we can talk about it.
I'm gonna send it to his inbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see if he's still
see this.
see if he's still looking at it. I think he do. But it's so like that whole entire I guess the message that was on the media about, got beef, let's box it out. I sure hope that we take that concept of doing something
And
different.
turn it into something positive.
Not picking up a gun.
Right.
Yeah, see, I'd rather get punched in the face
Than get
than
shot.
shot in the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I
Any-
think
I was
he's
gonna
lying.
say-
You're right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, please.
So,
Yeah.
what was wrong with that?
Yeah.
Now,
we had a whole conversation about the youth down at the harbor. That's gonna be another conversation, because I got some things to say about my reasons of what's going on right now.
from
But
my understanding, it was kind of kids down the harbor.
I get a whole lot, because now it's a lot going on. But because I'm running. So listen, it would be nice if they have places to go, because that was probably the real
Yeah,
thing.
and that was my issue too, because there's not any places to go. I still have nieces and nephews that live in the city, and that's what I hear every year. Like, it's nowhere for them to go. It's no more power centers.
Yeah, but
no
there's
more summer
always a
camps.
knucklehead in the crowd.
And
man.
Right, yeah.
And it is. I mean, if it really truly was that many, 500, and those, all of them were destructive, it would have been a real big issue. So you have your knuckleheads.
Right.
But
and I'm saying,
but,
if you're running away from it.
and I was gonna say, if someone's running, I'm running with them, because I don't know what they're running from.
Yeah, I'm saying,
So we don't know why they were running.
So,
Right.
the stragglers are the ones that's causing the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
If you run away from something, you ain't doing anything. You're not trying to be involved in the situation.
But I think, it's not to say we don't have these programs out here. I know plenty of organizations that offer things, but we're talking about 16, 17-year-olds. They don't want, some things are probably ending 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. They
Right.
want things to do, and
But that's what I mean, like create
something for them.
Yeah.
create like
Now shake and bake. Oh, the pop
Shake and bake
up
was my thing.
Wait a
then.
minute.
Oh,
They
it's a
doing.
pop-up this
I'm about to say the
Friday, right?
pop up.
Oh,
Let
it
me
is
let
one
me
this-
say
oh,
that.
yeah, I did. Somebody did tag me in that.
So yes, now that the state's attorney's office will be doing the pop ups again, and since it's getting warm, hopefully I find it on here. Y'all can keep talking. But so there will be a pop up this Friday at Shake and Bake. I'm gonna get all the details for you.
Shake and Bake, do they still do like different stuff for
Have you
teenagers?
been in there?
I ain't been in
Honey,
the
they
new Shake and
renovate-
Bake yet.
Yes,
I seen pictures, but I have not been in the new
Maybe
Shake
you
and
can
Bake
go
yet.
Friday. I'm trying to tell you, it's all renovated
So,
and
I'm so
Yeah,
happy
I
my son graduating this summer.
we got a caller.
Yeah.
And I do have the flyers. I'm gonna talk about that. Sure. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hi. Who's calling?
Oh, this is Jay.
Jay.
Yeah.
Hi, Jay. How are you? Thanks for calling in.
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
Right?
You have a comment, question, concern?
Oh, yeah, this in regard to the boxing.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a comment, yeah. I think in theory it's a good idea. But I don't think this is the right generation for it because we live in a social media era. And, let's say these kids lose and they're not getting paid and there's no incentive for it. And this isn't a sanctioned sport. This is just a way to sell a street piece. It ain't like these dudes are getting beat up outside the schoolyard or in the neighborhood. This is going to go viral. And especially now with the, with the multinational gangs and stuff in the city, this, is going to travel amongst, different people and also to, be an example to other gangs and stuff. And this is going to make it look bad to where this is going to, intensify the violence in the city even more because a lot of these kids are killing now because they can't take the fact that they fought a fair when they lost or they got jumped or whatever. So I think I think in theory this will be a great idea. Maybe this would have worked probably 10 or 15 years ago when the gangs were on the uprise and coming in, but there was no social media.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
You say you're 33? So you think that gangs have just been on the rise? So you're only 33. So when you say that you think that gangs was on the rise 15 years ago, that's because you was a teenager at that time. But I got to tell you that gangs have always been here.
And they've been
guns have
prevalent.
always been here. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying, but if using that rationale, we might as well stay in the house, never come outside, don't wear red, don't wear blue, don't wear black, don't wear brown. You know what I mean? It just, people going to fight, people going to shoot, people going to kill, but this is something to try to mitigate some. It's not going to end every little thing, but it's something.
And it's a controlled environment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But some stuff that you said is legitimate, but I don't think that that's enough reason to not do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, I get where you're coming from. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I'm just saying also you got people with camera phones that's going to be there. Like I would say if you do this, I would take a Dave Chappelle route where it's like you can't have no camera phones. This can't be taped or anything. It would just have to be, no media access or anything in there. It would have to be very, very private. Like you got kids.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I understand.
That's going. That goes viral, or that gets out there to people. This isn't just two people selling beef behind closed doors. Two people selling beef just in that gym to where those spectators or people can see or whatever. This is going viral, and it don't even have to be just a crowd of people. It could be a trainer in there taping it. It could be they have a camera, whatever. And I'm just thinking that's what I see the problem of it.
Now I see that part. So is the only problem that you have with it as far as settling a beef? What do you feel about kids getting involved in it early and just being involved in the discipline that's needed to be a boxer.
So they wouldn't know how.
Yeah.
Right.
Deal
So
They
with
know
it.
how to,
Anyway.
like,
what do you feel about that part?
No, I think boxing in general is a great idea. I think that that's a way to keep kids off the street. I'm for boxing. I'm for boxing programs in the community to help, to foster youth, to teach discipline. I'm for that, both male and female, for the children and for adults. I'm for that in general. I'm just saying in the context of settling street beefs.
That's what the
in
mayor
today's
said.
world, we have social media,
but see,
and we have
I
to
have
That's,
developed.
yours is different. Though.
Yeah, but see, too, is that here's something. That,
Jay.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I had lost you. But I'm gonna I actually think that you made a great point with the whole social media. We do have probably another caller coming in, but I want to thank you for calling in and for your input in that. You could please still tune in so you can get some of our input from your question or your concern. Thank you for calling.
problem.
Thank you. Now I understand kind of what he's
What he was
saying,
saying.
because you do have your, with the bullying, like there was the guy over in Patterson or something, and there was a video, first of all. And there were other things that were kind of like teasing him in the beginning where all that was filled in and then what happened.
Yeah.
So I get that
Yeah.
we are living in a world with teenagers, and hopefully Jay is still tuning in. Well, we live in a generation where the teenagers or these young people, they're so enticed with the whole Instagram and numbers and
Exactly.
World
I just
Star,
posted something about that today.
World
Yeah.
Star.
Like
Listen, your program, I'm not saying, I'm just being sarcastic here, but your program, let's say 100 likes, someone fighting 1 million.
Right.
So I get what he's
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing too. Like I've been having conversations, right? And I have this thing I call box out, right? So if anybody have a beef that deals with any situations, right? What we'll do, they'll have a box out. They train somewhere. Somebody might train with me. All right. A private setting.
Okay.
Right? Written agreement, win, lose, or draw, right?
That's good.
That no taping, no this, no that, right?
So something
you got
like
that
that,
beef,
yeah.
you get in there, you do shit out,
And that's
when
it.
it's over, right? And see, that's something.
I mean,
that
and
I'm
that's
working
something
with,
that
too.
can be implemented.
So that
Yeah.
actually was good, because like I said, I get why he's saying
Yeah,
that.
I do
And you
too.
don't
What I'm
want
saying
someone
is
to
that
leave.
I was already on that.
So that's
Yeah.
good.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
All right, go Jay, go Jay.
Okay.
See, me being in this business for as long as I have, I didn't came across all
everything.
kind of scenarios.
Yeah.
Everybody throwing this and throwing that, and throwing this and throwing that, and I have learned to have answers for you.
You definitely have the answers.
Now, what I will say is that, now I'm only going off of just because I didn't really hear a full detail of what Mayor Jack Young has in place, but I will say that what the media put out and what you're saying is two different things.
Right. Because you have to be in it to understand
Yes.
it, right? And see, too.
And
me
maybe that's
being-
why people are
right,
like,
right. That's why everybody got all crazy about it, because they don't understand the concept of what he's talking about. I understand when he first said, "Oh."
So your perspective was different
Yeah.
because you're
I mean,
Because
I
I'm
didn't
involved
take-
in it.
I
Yeah.
didn't take offense to anything that he said.
I think they're looking like, okay, we
Y'all
got
already
we got the
bad.
Bloods and the Crips,
Yeah,
and y'all want to beef it
yeah.
out, and y'all want to be bloody,
Well,
and somebody's
as
going to
soon as I
die.
heard it, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we
So-
want to take it back to the old
Yeah,
days.
but you're sitting here saying somebody's going to die out of it,
Right.
or assault
Yeah. I'm
charges.
saying
and
everybody
I'm
jump-
sure they're
jump
not
the
going to
gun.
let that get so far.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, media always take it to 10.
Yes.
That wasn't media.
What?
That was
Oh, these are just these
Oh,
are these
social
are just
media.
comments.
Oh, they're the worst then.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes I can't even look at
Oh,
it too
that
long.
was somebody watching the news
Yeah.
from their couch.
Yeah.
not even.
And this is why I wanted to
Did you just
have,
say that?
this is why I wanted to have you on, expert, And I don't know if you saw some guy, he was like, he had them in the yard boxing. They had gloves, and I tagged you and Michael on it. But these are things that if you had, I'm sure various people are probably doing it, and then coming together to actually implement something,
but see,
amazing.
here's one thing too, right? For protection, I'm registered with USA Boxing, right? USA Boxing has an insurance program that covers the kids that compete. My building's also covered with $5 million worth of liability insurance. The kids are covered with $25,000 worth of health insurance. It's a secondary insurance, right? But you just out there doing it like that, it's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
That's
wrong. That's why I was like, you might want to talk to. But my point was that people are doing it, and there were a bunch of children out there, and you could tell they weren't out there trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
And maybe they weren't even having a problem, but they were out there boxing. Yeah. And listen, I'm only going to kind of show that maybe the lack of, I don't say lack of resources, but maybe they can't afford that $50, or maybe they can't get across town. But they still need the concept.
A sliding fee.
You
ain't got it.
And listen,
come on in.
But my point is that maybe he does not. Maybe people don't know that, and maybe they don't even know about.
Well, they
Umar.
know it now. Like
but maybe they
you ain't got it.
Maybe they don't know.
Right.
Maybe they don't know Umar Boxing Center exists. My point is that we gotta work together, and there are people doing it. Rather, they're not.
And see the platforms like this. I'm glad that I was invited on the show.
Yes, I'm glad.
I'm glad that I let.
And we're gonna share this thing. We're gonna share this thing.
I'm definitely gonna share.
Wow. So I'm trying to just make sure I don't miss anyone else's question. Sometimes they're like, I asked the question. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I am a resource for the community.
Yes. And we
hit
are
me up.
too. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. I was going to also say, go ahead, let's do it. So if anybody wanted to join Umar Boxing Center, how would they be able to reach you?
Okay. Well, the center number is 410
and I'll put it in the comments.
3600. That's the
one more time.
My boxing program. 410-728-3600. And my cell number is 410-808-1964. Again, my cell number is 410-808-1964. My name is Umar Marvin McDowell, founder and president of the Umar Boxing and Youth Development. No hooks before books. Put the guns down, put the gloves up.
No, that's right. Do you have any social media?
Yeah, social media, Facebook is Umar Marvin McDowell.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get me anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when I put a comment in there, I had to call him on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Because he didn't respond. No, but I didn't know he had all these interviews. I was like, wait a minute, you 2, 11, 13, 45. So I'm so happy you on RTV.
And I'm glad that
Ready on fire.
Bringing some attention.
Yeah, I got the information for you. If you need help, hey.
Well, that's why they calling, because you got it.
We are a resource in the community. So if y'all want some fruit and vegetable, tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
At 12 o'clock.
We're
Y'all
giving
hear
away
that?
1,500 pounds of fresh vegetable and fruit.
That's right.
In front of Umar Boxing, 1217 West North Avenue.
Do you have a flyer to share for that?
No.
Because I was going to say I can always post it on the...
I have this
as
far as...
All right, so I'll just take a picture of it before we go. But if I could, I'll do that, and then I will just share it. Is this for the Wednesday? No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I got
But I'll put on there just like every Wednesday. Okay. Oh, he real good. Is there anything that we miss? He said he was on a show for 2 hours.
Right.
And our little hour getting right in. But I just want to make sure that I don't miss anything that you really have to say to our listeners.
As far as
we still got
boxing,
a little time,
amateur boxing, right? Mm-hmm. If you got fears in it, amateur boxing ranks 23rd as far as children's sports injuries.
That is true.
23rd.
I forgot what the first one was, and I was shocked.
And on some surveys, amateur boxing don't even make the list. Here's this right here.
I was actually going to say that.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture of it. I'll take a picture.
But I'm
and share
saying,
it.
you know, like.
So look, this says, in case you can't see it, block those sports injuries. It says what sport is most dangerous, and they actually have basketball, football, baseball, soccer, gymnastics, hockey, and boxing is not
so I became a
on
basketball
this.
mom.
Yeah.
My son gashed his eye out one
So
time.
I'm gonna make sure I
broke
take
his
a
arm.
picture of that too.
Yeah.
Yes, this is really, really good. So he made sure that I have amateur boxing safety tips as well.
Right.
and like I said, it was just it's good to actually get the full concept of boxing instead of just hearing fight.
Yeah.
I'm a real boxer.
Yes.
I have a real boxing gym. I have
Where
a
are
real
you
boxing
located? What's the
program.
address?
We're located at 1217 West North Avenue.
Okay.
That's right at North and Drew Hill, over top of the pawn shop.
Okay. All right. We gotta make sure we get over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And support. So you got
Definitely.
east, west, south, north. You got a whole bunch of things going on.
Right.
So you can't say that there are no resources. I think that's what we talked about last
Yeah.
week. We're not going to
I
say
definitely
there aren't
know
any.
it's resources, but I just think
We
people
connect.
don't know about
They don't
them.
know.
So, and that's the thing, like, really, we just need to start advertising,
Yeah,
getting
but
it
I'm
out
saying
there.
sometimes when people get flyers, they think, oh, it's always
Right,
ball,
yeah,
they
and that's
ball
true
it up, put it in their
too.
pocket,
But you know
never
what?
read it.
Social media the way to go. You put it
Yeah.
on social media, they see it. That's what they do all day. They on there. So,
So what I'm doing, I'm planning, put the guns down, put the gloves up, rally,
okay.
right? Where we're going to invite all the boxing programs in the city, have a multiple registration and sign up, you know, and let people know about the resources here in the
I
city.
think that's a great. So when y'all plan on doing that?
Between July and August.
That would be a great idea.
Yeah, it'll be on social media.
Okay.
Oh,
but
my
I'm saying,
goodness.
you know, it's a stereotype with boxing.
It is.
And it's
It
an
is.
unfounded stereotype.
And that's why I
Yeah,
just said.
it is.
That's what I say. I think people focus on. I'm going to make sure everything I'm taking a picture, it will be shared on the page. But I think people get kind of caught up in the. I don't want to say
The physical
violence,
aspect
but yes,
of it.
I was about to say violence.
And what they see
The
on
physical
TV.
part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, there's a big difference between amateur boxing and professional
Yeah,
boxing.
definitely.
Amateur boxing is very safe. You know, you have the headgear, you have the mouthpiece, you have the cup. The gloves are made to absorb shot, not get off shot.
Okay.
All right. Say like for a kid there
We
competing,
get ready.
Oh, yes.
and say he get his nose busted, you know, or he get hit and his eyes are dilated. They stop the fight,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you're not
Yeah.
sitting here saying,
You know, somebody outclassed,
Yeah.
you know, they ain't gonna let that go on, you know. And the officials really don't have no problem if they see a kid getting hurt or whatever, they stop it,
right.
you know. So it's very safe.
So I am so sorry this is not the 2-hour show. Now I see how we can kind of go over it.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was good. That means you're a great guest.
Yes, it does. I learned a lot about amateur and professional boxing. So,
Look, I didn't even get the cue that I'm over the time, but I do want to sit there and be on structure and discipline.
yes. We was prepared.
Yeah, it helps out.
Yes, he didn't give me the key, but I looked at it. I want to thank you. We want to thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm you know, I've
So
been
used to being alone.
I know.
Angie.
We. Look, I won't tell you what you
I'm just glad you gave me a platform
Yes,
to really explain
yes.
Yeah.
my craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And I learned a lot. I always been a love of boxing. I always wanted to box when I was little. I did kickboxing.
I don't
but
like
not
the
actual
UFC.
boxing.
I don't
but
like all
people
that.
I
got
love all of it. All of it.
I'm like this, like, wait, no. All right, guys. Okay, look, I'm on discipline and structure right now. Again, Mr. Umar, thank you so much for
Yes.
coming on our show. We do each and every Tuesday want to make sure that we spotlight great people in the community that are doing amazing things.
Yes.
With Restoring the Village, we want to continue to be a positive platform, and we're so happy that we could have spotlighted you and give you this, this time to let people know what you're doing.
I'm glad I was
in there.
invited, and I hope that the audience really got some knowledge on boxing.
I believe they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that is the end of our time. We want to thank you for tuning in. I will make sure that I post all of his contact information in the comment box, as well as the flyer and everything I took a picture of. I want to encourage you all to continue to share this and get the word out to our community. We have to make sure that we continue to be just an encouragement to one another and support to one another. So each and every Tuesday, again, make sure you tune in. And next week we'll have another amazing guest. Please tune in, and thank you, Mr.
Only
Umar.
we can save us.
Only we can save us.
Yes.
And we're going to do this in the picture, right? All right, come on, you got to do it, Tasha. All right, see y'all next Tuesday.
Yes.
Same time, same place.
Yeah, okay.